Hey everyone, welcome to what will probably be another jumbled mess, but I was literally just driving and I had to pull over because I wanted to post this message real quick. It struck me and I'm afraid by the time I get home the thought won't be there in the same way that it is right now. So I want you to think about something for a second. I want you to think about the whole phrase of that we hear so much, the "I've fallen off the wagon" phrase. I mean, I think that we have heard that phrase, I don't even know how long it's been around, but like that phrase has been said so many times for about so many different things. Oh, I've fallen off the wagon. I've fallen off the wagon. I've fallen off the wagon. Well, I was doing good and then I fell off the wagon. Like, it's just used so much. And you know, it's one of those phrases that kind of has always bothered me, but I never really understood why it bothered me as much until I guess until I was thinking about it. I was driving home and thinking about this. I don't know what made it pop in my head. But when you say that you have fallen off the wagon when it comes to something that you're working on, you know, obviously in my world, falling off the wagon most often means you know, when someone's trying to have, you know, change their eating, and you know, they have a day where they eat something that isn't part of, you know, a healthy lifestyle, they'll say, oh, I fell off the wagon. But it doesn't even have to be that. I mean, it could be, you know, sometimes it's exercise. They start a program and they, you know, miss a few days and say they fell off the wagon. Or it could be, you know, maybe you have like maybe you have a goal for your career and there's certain things that you have to do every day and be consistent at in order to be able to reach your goals. You know, maybe it's like you're studying for something, or you know, you have just these certain things you have to do every day. Maybe it's a new routine. Maybe you're, you know, trying to get up early in the morning to get some things done and get your day started right. And then you hit snooze for a couple days in a row and you'll say, I fell off the wagon. It could be literally anything. It is a phrase that drives me nuts because, okay, first of all, I get that it's a figure of speech, but you're not on a wagon. You're not. And you need to get that mentality out of your head, because when I hear I've fallen off the wagon, in my eyes, that has a negative connotation. And it basically says I failed. When somebody says to me I fell off the wagon, I interpret that as them saying, that in their perception of themselves, that they feel like they failed. And there is no failure for anything unless you completely and totally give up. So if you give up, then you have failed. If you have a slip up, or if things don't go as planned, or if you have to reevaluate your situation and come up with a different plan, that's not failing. And therefore, that's not saying you fell off the wagon. It's only an acceptable phrase if you are totally quitting at something. And there's not many people I know that completely quit. There's not many people that I know that completely quit. You know, they might go up and down. They might cycle, you know, through something. They might, you know, start to, you know, eat healthy and then stop and then start again and stop. That's a cycle. That's not quitting. There might be setbacks. There might be obstacles that get in the way. There might be challenges. Life happens. Bad things happen. And people have to figure out a way to get through those. But I think the only time that you really ever could use the "I've fallen off the wagon" is when you're quitting. And I think that, like I said, that phrase has such a negative connotation that people start to have when they use that phrase. It's another way of saying that they feel bad about themselves. They feel bad about whatever happened. They feel guilty. They feel not worthy. They feel, you know, like they failed. So instead of saying I fell off the wagon, I really, if you have to use a phrase, why don't you say I hit a bump? I hit a bump in the road. I hit a snag. There's an obstacle that I have to figure out how to get around. Those are all those have a more positive connotation to them. You know, we all hit bumps in the road. Does that mean we stop our car? Like when we come to a bump, do we stop and get out and be like, I'm done, can't do it anymore? No. It means it might have slowed us down for a second, but we're going to get back we're going to get going again. If we come to an obstacle in the road, does it mean we just park our car and get out and be like, sorry, can't keep driving, there's an obstacle, I'm done? No, we take a detour, we find an alternate route, another path. We don't just give up. So stop saying that you fell off the wagon, because you didn't. You're not on a wagon. You're on the course of life, and there's going to be bumps and there's going to be obstacles. And when it comes to tackling anything new, especially a new healthy eating plan, if you eat a piece of cake, that's not falling off the wagon. That's allowing yourself something and letting life happen, and it's a bump, and it's not the end of the world, and it doesn't mean you failed. It might just mean you enjoyed a treat, which there's nothing wrong with that. So that's kind of my message for tonight. I had to pull over, and I had to give it right now while it was fresh in my head, and hopefully what I'm saying to you makes sense. And I don't want to hear you saying that you fell off the wagon anymore, because you didn't. You didn't fail, and you didn't fall off of anything. You just might have hit a snag. So I hope you guys are all enjoying your Thursday night, and I will talk to you soon.